Senator Rand Paul has apparently decided that our reality and the state of our government and the services provided to Americans isn't sad enough, isn't stupid enough. So he is suggesting a literal joke from an early episode of The Simpsons as a solution to a massive problem in America. Take a look.
I think there are innovations we can do where there's more learning via some of the best teachers and we pay them more. I would like to have an NBA or NFL of teachers, the most extraordinary teachers, teach the entire country.
Who would run that? The education department?
Some of them. No, what you'd find is they'd be selected out state by state, across the nation. What we need to do is have the best teachers and pay them more, but they wouldn't teach 30 kids. They might teach 10 million kids at a time because it would be presented through the internet with local teachers reinforcing the lessons.
So I know what you're thinking, what's going on with that dude's hair. After Trump made fun of it on the debate stage, he just gave up, I think. But anyway, and you're also probably, you were hoping going into that video that his solution with the Simpsons thing would be monorail, but no, unfortunately it was not. It's on the education system. And so we need an NFL of teachers where we don't have a Department of Education, we don't fund the schools or anything like that, but you have these all-star teachers that rather than just teaching 10 or 20 kids, that's a waste, use their talent to teach 10 million. And if you don't think about it almost at all, that probably sounds pretty good. It's like the Joe Rogan thing. It's like if you only hear it very briefly and then you move on, or if your brain is so addled with drugs you can't hold a thought in it for very long, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. But think about what that is in practice. So let the schools decay, don't fund the classes, don't fund tech, whatever. And then you have these teachers. Well, what does that mean in practice? It means you have some videos of people recording lessons, and then they play it to 10 million kids. That's what it means. You can't like teach individually to 10 million kids. You can't have questions from them. You can't tailor the education to what they've learned. If there's a disruption in one class, you can't adapt to that because after all, you're dealing with thousands of classes simultaneously. What it is videos. It's recording videos of teachers and putting them out. And I got news for you, Rand Paul. That exists. There's already TED Talks. There's already classes and stuff like that. You can go on YouTube and you can watch people recording how to do different things. That's not the thing we need. It can't be because it already exists and it hasn't solved all of our problems. All this is an excuse, a cover story to make people feel comfortable with the destruction of the education system, which Rand Paul, more than even most other Republicans, is perfectly happy to have happen. He's a libertarian. He doesn't believe that the government should be in any of this. He doesn't care if your kids don't learn a goddamn thing. And in the meantime, you'll get to watch a little video or whatever. And I'm sure we'll get Mr. Beast in to do a chemistry lesson. And then all of our kids' problems will be solved, JR. You have a kid actually in school. What do you think about this as a solution?
You know what's weird? So he has this whole thing. You went through the whole thing. He wants these all-star teachers to teach, right? On a broad base. Don't forget the part about when he said we should have pay local teachers to reinforce the lessons. He said that. How much should we pay the local teachers to reinforce those lessons? Because apparently we should pay one all-star one a bunch of money. He said pay them more and they'll teach 10 million kids. And she asked, how will we facilitate that? It will get spread down to the states where local teachers would then teach it. You know what the Department of Education, one of the things it does? It has standards, educational standards and achievements and things that maybe students should learn and know about in our world. And then that's handed down to states where then they are supposed to the local teachers are then teach these children where they can hit those standards and we have an educated society and people are prepared for life or whatever field they want to go into, right? We already have that and this guy wants to get rid of it. And then Rand Paul wants to announce doing the same damn thing except give it to whoever the hell they want to. And then how much we paying these local teachers again? Who knows? Who cares? Who cares? We don't pay them anything. And then the one thing that they want to make sure they never mention that the Department of Education would be doing is civil rights standards for folks, making sure that people who are unconnected, disconnected, rural area kids, poorer kids, special education students, disabled children, all those people have their rights in place and actually have a place and seat at the table. That's what they're eliminating with the Department of Education. This other stuff that Rand Paul just announced, we already do that in states, many states. One of them probably being don't like that.
Yeah, and I love the efficiency of like rather than just providing the funding so that teachers can teach it, we're going to pay multiple teachers. So one is going to teach it, and then the other is going to reinforce it, which means teach it. So we're going to pay two people to do the same thing. Also, where does the time come for the second teacher to reinforce every lesson? How does that work? Are you doubling the length of the school day? Are you providing the extra funding for that? And also, like he throws in the local thing. What sort of teachers do you think they're gonna be choosing to do these lessons that go out to almost every kid in America? You think, like, you don't think that there's going to be restrictions on what sort of politics they can talk about? What sorts of like identities they can talk about? This is just, again, this is supposed to be local. This is way more federal control over the curriculum than we've ever had before. All this is nonsense. And it would be money that would be routed to private companies that'd be recording the videos. This is corruption and propaganda and waste and stupid. It's a wonder that Rand Paul didn't go farther in the Republican primary with amazing ideas like this.